Hello, everyone. Welcome to LOCKBEARD Random Live number 73. Anti-gunners to blame. Hope that intro played all right. It was all jacked up on my end, but just hopefully it went to YouTube and played fine. It is May 24th, 2022. Welcome. Mark says, "Good day, Lockbeard. News of terrible incident in Texas filtered to Australia. What a terrible tragedy. Hope you are well." Yeah. Patty Troy says, "It's horrible news, the worst." Timmy Boy says, "What's up? Any fellow Texans in here yet?" I don't know, but I'm in Oklahoma, not too far away from Texas. As big as Texas is, I'm just on the doorstep, really, close to Muskogee, Oklahoma. Squatchy Cowboys here. He says, "Howdy, y'all." Mark, thanks for joining earlier. The interviews. Hopefully this chat acts right again tonight, or acts right tonight instead of the other night. It was messed up. Need a new camera. Yeah. Say something now. Okay, hopefully you guys can hear me. Where's Damage Lee at? I think Mogs might have still had a couple minutes to. He might still be on another couple minutes or something. Not sure. Team Boy, he'll be along, I'm sure. Yeah, I told him I was coming on. He's always wants me to do random lives, and Patty Troy says, "Watching Dave sub to you tonight." Awesome. Yeah, it was a messed up situation. I'm sure we'll get more facts as it goes on. But there's, particular fact. I think the title tonight. I think you guys know what I'm going to say, or roughly what I'm going to say. Timmy Boy says, "Close enough, Lockbeard." What do you mean close enough to what? Not sure what you mean. Why is this thing not functioning? I don't know. The StreamYard's just been really glitchy and stuff, so I don't know. Level out, come on! Sandra is here. She says hello. Yeah, pay choice is 19 so far. Yeah, so I mean, let's just start with at least just one news report about the situation in case anyone hasn't really had a chance to see anything about this.
Deborah, we're here with Lieutenant Chris Olivares with DPS. He's going to tell us a little bit more about what he's learned that happened out here at Robb Elementary today. And Lieutenant Olivares, we've just learned that 18 students have been killed.
Right, Vanessa. So first I want to acknowledge the brave men and women of law enforcement that showed up to the scene, that actually were involved in the scene, actually made entry into the school and saved more lives. That, of course, we lost 18. But I want to praise those brave men and women of law enforcement. Also, offer our condolences on behalf of the Texas Department of Public Safety to the families, to the victims.
Something's wrong with this stupid thing. I don't know why it's. Let me back her up
and save more lives.
That happened out here at Robb Elementary today. And Lieutenant Olivares, we've just learned that 18 students have been killed.
Right, Vanessa. So first I want to acknowledge the brave men and women of law enforcement that showed up to the scene, that actually were involved in the scene, actually made entry into the school and saved.
Let me try reloading it. This is ridiculous.
Yes, Vanessa. Deborah, we're here with Lieutenant Chris Olivares with DPS. He's going to tell us a little bit more about what he's learned that happened out here at Robb Elementary today. And Lieutenant Olivares, we've just learned that 18 students have been killed.
Right, Vanessa. So first I want to acknowledge the brave men and women of law enforcement that showed up to the scene, that actually were involved in the scene, that actually made entry into the school and saved more lives. That, of course, we lost 18. But I want to praise those brave men and women of law enforcement. Also, offer our condolences on behalf of Texas Department of Public Safety to the families, to the victims, and the entire Uvalde community. So what we do know now that the suspect was involved in a family disturbance earlier on the day with his grandmother, in which he shot his grandmother. From that point on, what we do know is that local law enforcement received a call of a crash and a man with a gun nearby where the school's at. At that point, local law enforcement responded to the school. The suspect made entry into the school, and as soon as he made entry into the school, he started shooting children, teachers, whoever was in his way, he was shooting everybody. And of course, as I mentioned, brave law enforcement made entry to that school, exchanged gunfire with the suspect who was wearing body armor. Several police officers were shot. At that point,
I don't know what's going on with that particular video. My signal, as you know, is not that great out here. Rex Hand says shooter had prior rants, should have been dealt with. Yeah. Danny, welcome. Yeah, Sandra, it's just that video. I don't know what. Hopefully I'm coming through okay. I'm just gonna cut that video out. Just go to these tweets. Stupid tweets. Anyway, you guys know, pretty much everything you need to know. Somebody confirm for me that looks like we're still functioning. I'm getting weird messages and shit, so I don't know. Things aren't working 100% right. Danny says, Neon Moon, good to see you. Welcome to Neon Moon. Welcome, Rex Hand. Been buffering on other shows too. So, man, I do not want to deal with all this light right now. Yeah, I've been buffering too. Sanders says Rex Hand. So, as you can see, all the Hollywood and celebrity dipshits are weighing in with their anti-gun bullshit. Here we have Stephen King, who says today Twitter outrage doesn't cut it. When you step into the voting booth this fall, vote gun control. No, you don't vote gun control, Stephen King. What you mean is you want guns to be banned. You want us to be disarmed so that the American citizens are vulnerable to the tyranny of the government. That is the primary reason for the Second Amendment. Not hunting, not self-defense on the road. Those things are important too. The most important thing is being able to defend yourself against tyranny of the government. And American citizens should be very well armed to be able to deal with that. You douchebags, like you, Stephen King, are at fault for these deaths today. And every time a shooting like this happens, it is your fault. And since you are too small-minded to understand why, I'll have to explain it and spell it out, how you share some blame in this. You're an anti-gunner. Obviously, you're a dumb fuck. See what else these motherfuckers had to say. Elizabeth Banks. I don't even know who the fuck this is. Who's this chick? How many more? Well, I don't know. I'd have to ask you. People like you leave our schools sitting ducks. Our schools should be extremely well armed, and instead you've turned all the schools into gun-free zones. Well, assholes who want to shoot up a place know they're gun-free zones. They know they can safely waltz into there and just blow people away and have very minimal risk to themselves. You have left the schools sitting ducks. They should be more like the Old West. When shit was going down, the kids had guns too. The kids knew how to handle guns and they could defend themselves. Not today. Oh, fuck no. You dumb fuck anti-gun advocates have seen to that. You've left our children vulnerable. And you think criminals are going to listen to your anti-gun legislation? You think they give a fuck? They're criminals. They break laws for a fucking living. You dumb fuck anti-gun advocates. Jesus Christ. Go live in a country that has been disarmed and shut the fuck up. You don't belong here, evidently. You don't enjoy American liberty. You know how we got that shit? Fucking guns. Gavin Newsom. Oh, fuck. 14 children, teacher dead, shooting, and GOP won't do a damn thing about it. The GOP, as much as I can't stand them either, at least they would support something involving defense with guns. You dipshits want to leave everyone sitting ducks and hope that the government stops everything. You want to overregulate everything and leave us completely vulnerable and dependent on the government. Fuck you. The GOP won't do anything. But who the hell are we if we cannot keep our kids safe? Jesus Christ, you fuckers are morons. This is preventable. Our inaction is a choice. Nationwide, comprehensive, common sense gun safety now. No, you guys are trying to do full-on gun ban. Oh, this douchebag, Piers Morgan. He says nothing was done after Sandy Hook to stop another school massacre like that happening again. It's now happening again. I got a video clip about you, motherfucker. Just wait. Rub some Ben Shapiro on this shit. It's now happening again. School children being slaughtered in their classrooms should not be a political issue. Please, America, stop the partisan bullshit and do something to stop it. You guys have made this a partisan issue. There's only one common sense answer. An armed America is a safe America. You disarm yourself, crooks will fucking break the laws anyway. They don't give a shit. Remember those planes? They crashed into some towers. They hijacked with freaking box knives. That's another issue. If someone's intent on doing something really bad, they'll find a way to do it without the guns. So your anti-gun legislation didn't do shit there, did it? Melissa Gilbert, whoever the fuck this is, I don't know who this person is. At least I don't recall. There's no defense, no explanation, no excuse to not deal with the issue of guns immediately. The leadership of this country is failing our children. Vote them all the fuck out, both parties. And to those leaders, I want to say, get the fuck off your asses and do something. Well, at least you said something smart in there. Stevie Van Zandt says, I know, and now the politicians will come out and lie and say this time we do something about it, but they know they can't because Republicans don't give a fuck, and until Buckley versus Vallejo is reversed, the Democrats are powerless to fight the NRA. The NRA is not who you need to fight, you dumb fuck. Oh, man. Bat Midler. You happy now, Government Abbott? I guess you are. No Lie with Brian Tyler. Cohen says these shootings are a policy choice by Republicans. Again, they're making it a political issue. You guys are making it a political issue. This is both parties' fault here. Both parties are fault here. Stop this shit and just do what the right thing is. And the right thing is the American thing. Arm the fuck out of our schools. Arm the fuck. There were kids with guns on the school campus when I was a kid, usually in their truck or something. I think a few were in lockers and stuff. We didn't have these fucking problems. This has nothing to do with the presence of the guns. It has something to do with some other problems that we have as a society. Greg Abbott says, I'm embarrassed. Texas #2 in the nation for new gun purchases. What's wrong with that? Oh, you mean, are you sad that they aren't #1? No, hey, there you go. Behind California. Yeah, that's kind of weird. Mia Farrow says, I don't dare do thoughts and prayers. We're past that. We need reasonable gun legislation like every other rational nation. No, we have all the legislation we really need is the right to own weapons. I don't give all your little controls don't do shit, because when a crazy person or a very evil person wants to get a hold of a gun, they're going to do it. There's no stopping that. Jesus Christ, another mass shooting in America, this time in elementary school. I mean, you die before we finally say enough and throw out those standing in the way of gun reform. Again, gun reform is, code for gun ban. They want to get rid of all guns, and they have to do gun reform as a step in that process. They're trying to get to gun bans, though. If you listen to what some of these fucks say, they want gun bans. As you process tragedy shooting, who's this? Medhi Hassan, whoever the fuck this is. I don't know who this guy is, but he's out of Texas. Bear in mind that the NRA posted this just yesterday. They're meeting in Texas this coming Friday, and Trump will be a keynote speaking there in person. The timing, she's the timing. NRA. Yeah. Well, so it makes me wonder, because some people, if you're a real conspiracy person, you might say, what if this kid was triggered by, government agents to do this, because there's been some suggestion that some of this shit goes on where when they need a shooting to happen, they kind of make it happen. I don't know if that's the case here, but we should be on the lookout for signs of that shit. That's definitely true. LeBron James, you play some kind of sport, don't you? I really, I don't follow sports. You're some kind of athlete, I imagine, probably overpaid. You certainly don't know fuck all to do about, running a proper society. You might be able to dribble or something, I think. So I don't know what change you want. Chris Evans says, fucking enough. Fuck off. Go back to your Marvel movies, motherfucker. They're going into shit too. They're going down a tube. They're fucking up the MCU. It's all fucked. Dylan O'Brien, Republicans will force you to have your kid, but will do absolutely fucking nothing to keep them safe. You're a moron too, motherfucker. Stephen King's in there again for some reason. Richard Marks. How's this fucker? This guy didn't his relevancy die out like 20 years ago? Fuck you, NRA. Fuck you, every elected official who voted against gun reform. Fuck you, Greg Abbott, Texas. And fuck you, every Republican voter who claims to be pro-life, but don't actually give the slightest shit about humans once they're born. You're ignorant and complicit. No, fuck you. You're ignorant and you're complicit because you don't understand that the answer to protecting these kids from guns is to arm the fuck out of the schools. Every employee at the school should be armed. And I think in my perfect world, the kids should be too. Instead of throwing dodgeballs at them, teach them how to shoot. Put a gun on every hip. Turn this bitch into the old west. That's the American way anyway. Fuck you. If every kid, look, the only reason a shooter would go to a school in my world is if they're ready to fucking die. He might, if he gets off one shot, he might get a chance to kill one person. But it's over for him. No, in your world, the kids are sitting ducks. that's a gun-free zone at the schools, and so he gets away with killing a whole bunch of kids because of you, Richard Mark, and anyone that thinks like you dipshit, anti-gun advocate piece of shit. Fuck. Josh Gad. We are a nation that care more about celebs fighting in the court than children dying in classrooms. Josh Gad, whoever the fuck you are. Everyone who claims to be pro-life, where is your compassion for the children who die every fucking week in this nation by military grade guns you cherish? Wow. You fucking moron. Ken Owen, we have to do everything in our power to stop the insanity of children being shot and killed. And anyone who says they're pro-life but refuses to support gun safety laws that will absolutely reduce the slaughter of innocent children is a liar and a hypocrite. Gun safety has fuck all to do with what happened here. This person decided to kill people. And that's what he did with this. That's what he used the gun to do. He could have practiced all the gun safety you want, but the reality is this was all about him aiming a weapon at a person and with the intent to kill them. You seem confused. You dipshit, you moron. Fucking jackass. Here, we'll leave you on there. Let me get back in the chat here. I know I'm probably far behind. Oh, shit. And they keep throwing this at us over and over again, man. This keeps happening. You know, you think at some point they'll be like, hey, let's try the option where we, like, arm the schools. Yep. Guns won't kill people. People kill people. Neon says, but all these assholes are protected with armed bodyguards. Yes, absolutely. And welcome. Timmy says, people are dumb criminals, will always have guns, but I lost mine in a boating accident. Rex says, that's right, Lockbeard. I don't know which part. Nikki's here. Welcome. Shizmoke's just in it, so peeps should start coming in. Awesome. Welcome. They put a ban on drugs, and how did that work? Exactly. Even going back to alcohol prohibition, all you did was drive it into the black market. Drug prohibition, it just goes to the black market. Prostitution prohibition, it just goes into the black market. What else? Even an abortion issue. They've been talking all about abortion and how, well, it's horrible because if you make it illegal, it drives it into the back alley. Where's that? Oh, that's the black market. Everything goes to the black market if it's illegal. Even human trafficking is taking place. They have found that they are trafficking people through Oklahoma, where I'm at, and it's in the black market. What is the black market? That's where criminals go to make an assload of money because you made something illegal, so that gave them a corner on the market. You see, you make shit illegal, criminals make assloads of money. They like it. They like it when you have gun control. Because not only can they make money selling guns because no legitimate business can sell guns anymore, not only that, you have criminals who now feel like they can safely raid your house because you're unarmed and they're not going to get shot back at. No, that's a wrong direction this country needs to go. We need to put guns in every fucking house, in every child's hand. They need to know how to use that gun from a very early age. And no one will fuck with our kids. The planes is the same thing. If everyone on that plane was armed, that plane would not have hit a building, right? It would not have hit a building. It might still crash, but it sure as fuck wasn't making it to no damn building. You know? People always say, oh, what if they puncture at the pressure? Bitch, is that not better than crashing into a fucking building? Shut the fuck up. Fuck. Son of a bitch. I've actually had people say shit like this. Drop my phone. what type of gun did this kid have? It was a rifle of some kind, I think. Lord, Miss Gilbert, Laura on Little House of the Prairie. Mr. Lee, welcome. Heart is broken. Mr. Lee. Bat Mom here? Did I miss her? There she is, yeah. Here's Bat Mom. Welcome. Anita, welcome. Where they are. Oh, they'll say that, but it wasn't. I'm pretty sure it wasn't. BF Bud, welcome. Uncle Bones, welcome. Donald Fuller, welcome. He says, we bought our 22s to school for target practice during gym. We never had a problem with school shootings back then. Yeah. That's why I think a lot of this shit's like part of it, I think, is there is actually some orchestration taking place where, and that's getting way too down the conspiracy rabbit hole. My primary purpose tonight is to tell gun control advocates that they are leaving our kids vulnerable to this kind of shit. They share blame in the children that died this time and every time. Our schools should not be gun-free zones. They should be loaded with guns. So that if someone comes trying to start shit at a school, it's because they got to be ready to fucking die. In my perfect world, where we're training all the kids to shoot, all the kids are going to have a sidearm. I see no problem with the kid learning to go throughout their day all day long with a sidearm on them, how to function, how to live, how to be safe under those circumstances. And if someone busts into that school, they're gonna run into a hail of bullets, as they deserve, if they want to come in and start shit. But no, these douchebags want gun-free zones at schools, and they think, oh, well, that's going to solve it. No, a criminal, he's going to break the law of murder. Do you think he gives a fuck about breaking your gun ban? Do you think he gives a fuck about that? He intends to kill people. He doesn't give a fuck about your gun ban. He's breaking some serious laws already. Jesus Christ. How again, Miss Piper, always good. BF Bud says Troy is here. Welcome. Probably they will encourage this activity. Maybe these kids, maybe get these kids off the video games and teach them gun safety like we were taught. Yeah. Just you know. But now, you know, like, I mean, I commented somewhere online. It's like, do they even let kids play? Because I was saying, train. How about we train the kids to shoot at school? You know, gun safety, proper, you know, use of a gun, and instead of dodgeball. I was like, wait a minute, they probably don't allow dodgeball anymore because their kids are so pussified today that they can't stand to be hit by the fucking inflated ball. Welcome, Jen. Mr. Lee says, oh, I see now, Cowboy. Impossible to watch two shows in the same time. Mogs is my dad, though. You can understand. Anita says, yes, it's not guns. It's a generation with lots of issues, no respect for life. If someone wants to get a gun to hurt people, they'll get it regardless of any laws. Yes. Thought it was 8 p.m. next Tuesday. Let's see. Tammy Boy says, kid was a nut job. Elementary kids equals nut job. Yeah. But like I said, I've talked to y'all about, like, of course, I don't know if this is a case of this. This could be just a case of just straight up nut job. But look, this whole deal with the NRA about to have a meeting and Trump's going to talk at it, something smells fishy. Like, if they could, cause someone to go off the rails and do something like this, I think they would. They fix elections, they lie, they use the media for propaganda. They invented a virus in 2020 and got half the world convinced it was real. I'm still waiting for anyone to fucking prove different. Prove it was real. Come on. They lie. They do all this crazy shit. And we know they've been experimenting with certain frequencies for decades that can be used to affect the human mind. So if they were to hit someone just right, they identify this person, say, look, this person's on the edge. Now, what we do if we were good people is we would get this kid help. But instead, we're going to wait until we need him. And at the right moment, we put some shit in his head. We just a little unmarked vehicle drives by his house and targets him with the right frequencies and trips his trigger, turns him into a complete nutcase, loses his mind, and possibly planting specific instructions for him to do. It's not going to happen. Come and take it. Mr. Lee, I think all I got is pissed off for the rest of my life. This world is just a massive disappointment in general. It deserves my wrath. Man, how far behind am I? Yeah, Bud says, Jen, hey, somebody's talking about the prison for my career. London, grow some balls. Mr. Lee, talking to the cowboy like that? Peso's Mugs Lockbeard to come on. Left wing fruitcake. Paramedic, welcome. He says enough guns in circulation for each American to have 23 apiece. I know people with none and some with 50. Yeah. And yet somehow our schools are gun-free zones. There's not a single gun there. It's not allowed. And then shit happens at the schools and people wonder why. Well, it's because the shooter knows damn good and well he can safely just stroll in there and kill people. And no one's going to be able to shoot back. Team Boy says, damn, Mr. Lee, what's with your abandoned people? Abandoning people? Who do you abandon? Rex says, an instructor, I would train the teachers for free as instructor. You would train teachers for free? Only for Moog, says Mr. Lee. Now I'm really pissed, Mr. Lee. Oh, man. Or Lockbeard. Potato sanctions, human smuggling. Jen says, interested in building in the history. Talking about the prison again. Guns and crossbow backups. Hey, why not? Why not? Sanders says, don't come to my house to do harm. I think we know what that means. Sandra, fuck you up. Paramedic says, Mr. Lee, it for carry too soon. Oh, shit. Joe says, just like he left me standing at the altar. What? Whoa. Yeah, apart from the douchebag DDoS. Yeah, I'm lying. Yeah, fuck that guy. It's just a news cycle narrative. Yeah. Harold Denton says, when the hell are schools boards going to wake the fuck up, I assume, and allow school administrators and teachers to conceal carry. At least then they could possibly take out shooter in a quick manner. Yeah, at the very least. But as I said earlier, I think that every administrator, every teacher, the janitor, and every fucking student should be packing. Everyone. Everybody think it's crazy. Like, look, you don't look. Maybe in your family there were 0 guns, and you can't imagine the possibility of putting a gun in a child's hand from a very early age. But you need to get familiar with that, because that's the American way. That was the Wild West, and we need some of that Wild West back. We really do, because no one is going to come into a school full of armed staff and kids. They'll probably just, I don't know what they'll do, but whoever has, see, people have to know this. Like, the people in power have to know what I'm saying here. They know damn good and well that making a school a gun-free zone is not the correct action. It's the absolute opposite of the correct action. You leave in the schools and the kids sitting ducks. What you want is lots of guns at the school. Lots of guns at the school in the hands of law-abiding citizens that are going to protect those kids. But no, you disarmed them. You left them unprotected. You're leaving our kids unprotected with your gun-free zone bullshit. I see right through this bullshit. They say sounds like it's cool. Oh, we're gonna prevent. No, you're not gonna prevent shit, you dipshits. What you're doing is opening up the schools up to attacks. That's why they keep happening. Fuck you, Jesus Christ, goddamn anti-gun advocates are just absolutely twisted in the head. Oh shit! Tim, was how many people had guns in their back windows in high school? Lots back in the day. Yep, another douchebag, Mr. Lee, Dark Waters. Paramedic, I don't still like Bigfoot Odyssey though. So you mean you don't like Bigfoot Odyssey anymore? Finally saw the light. Harold says, back in the early 80s, lots of guys at my East Tennessee high school had both a shotgun and a deer rifle in the rack in back extra cab of their trucks. No one shot up the school. Absolutely. Uncle Mo says, Donald, my pickup had 3 guns in the back window. No one touched it in high school. Rexan says, the plane, if you're down below 10,000, not a problem with I assume you mean pressure and not pleasure. Damn it, Rex. This is a serious matter. Same here, Harold didn't. Patty says, Mr. Lee, Carrie don't deserve you if he treated you like that. These other shows appreciate you. Yes, we appreciate you, Mr. Lee. And to show some appreciation, I know that you will enjoy my response to Patty Troy's profile picture.
I like to fuck my cat.
And of course, we got to properly welcome. Yeah, had to be done. Mr. Lee says, hello, Harold. I ain't seen you for ages. Tim Boy says, exactly. Like the show. Paramedic says, I took a hood buck on the way to school, and the ag teacher taught the class how to butcher it. Hey, there you go. So watch me, Mr. Lee. Can you still comment? MK Ultra, yeah. They do, and they're like Villainous. I don't know which part you're referring to, but I think so. Talking about the mind control stuff. Troy says example for encouraging the nut jobs. The FBI caught up in the Michigan government fiasco. Sales will be up. SOBs probably have stock. Yeah. Mr. Lee says we have no guns here, but plenty of knife culture. It's bad. Everyone going around stabbing each other. Have to have your wits about you in London, telling you. Yeah, I mean that's a good example, Mr. Lee. He's like, if people want to kill each other, they will kill each other with something, you know. And I bet you occasionally you still get someone with a gun. Great Britain might have an easier time controlling, you know, locking their that place down to prevent gun trafficking, but man, that shit ain't gonna happen at all. We can't even keep full grown people from crossing our borders. That's just the truth. Paramedic says a kid was suspended for having shotgun shells in his truck during duck season. The police dog showed interest in the duck smell. We don't even resemble the country I grew up in, and I'm only 45. Yeah, and I'm 46, and what in the hell happened? I mean, you know, it's just gone nuts. It's rough near London. Very deadly weapon, yeah. When they start pushing people out windows, how they plan to ban that? Well, we got to make gravity illegal, Donald. Don't you? Timmy Boy says, Mr. Lee, I saw a show the other night about knife violence in London. Yeah. Yeah, way to go. You know, no guns didn't fix shit, did it? People still get pissed at each other and find ways. If they're gonna, the problem is the crime is murder, and if someone wants to murder someone, it doesn't really matter that they don't have a gun. They'll find something else. There's other ways. You can murder people in many different ways. Your mom taught school. You would have gone Rambo on all the family members of any student who tried harming. Whoa. Remember, the family members are innocents in all this. Little hiccup there. Just a little hiccup there. Patty says, I'd rather live in a place where you take a knife to a knife fight than a knife to a fight with a military type weapon. Just saying. Mr. Lee says, went down notch on my Christmas list. Mr. Lee says, some kid just the other day, Timmy Boy, so bad here, telling you. Harold says, maybe schools need more than one well-armed resource officer. Mr. Lee says, Cowboy, you better. Here's my problem with that. You know, resource officer or any administration, any teacher, they can't be everywhere at once. The victims are everywhere, right? The kids, they're anyone that's going to be a victim, a warm body, a kid. You know, we need to protect every one of them. So to protect every child, arm every child. It's real simple. It's a real simple math. Reduce the unprotected children down to 0 unprotected children. 0. The school's training them. They're all going to know when it's time to to deal with a threat if one presents itself. Which I don't think. I think all this shit would come to an end if schools were armed the way I think they would. No one is going to go to a school where every single person has a sidearm on them, including all the kids. Christmas card. Assault rifle. You just click 3. Do you mean 3? Yes, sir, Uncle Bones. Half my guts at my half of guys at my high school hunted before and after school in East Tennessee. Yeah. Sleep with a hammer next to my bed. Don't mess with me. Plus, I've perfected the head putt. You better watch out. What about your sword, man? Best out your sword. Meredith is here. Welcome. She says hello, Lockbeard, and everyone in chat. Enraged. Why am I a knucklehead, Mr. Lee? Got to eat. Mogs is here. Welcome. So is Brenda. Familiar names. Yeah. Donald says, thanks for the intro. Yeah, you're welcome. Harold says, time to start busting kids' asses in school when they act up like punks. Couple licks from Board of Education will get one's attention. Yeah, they spare the rod, right? Even just a sign on the door, armed teachers. Oh, they wouldn't. I don't know if they need it. Everyone in the community of a school that's in the way that I'm saying, where the kids are all being trained, they're going outside, right? There's a gun range outside, and there's all kinds of gunfire coming from the school a lot of the time. Everyone who's anywhere is going to know. Okay, yeah, there's a lot of armed people here. I'm not going to go fuck with them. Geez Louise, what'd I say? I don't know. I'm kind of behind in the chat, so I don't know which part you're referring to. Pay Troy says, I need a warning to hide my boy Troy from that video. Huh? Oh, the cat thing. Oh, you have a kid with you? Libs happen, Lockbeard says, Timmy. So good to see you. Sharon says, hello, Lockbeard in chat. Made alive. Welcome, Sharon. Tight lines. Jen says, thanks, Uncle Bone. Good conversation. Donald says, thought we lost you, Locky. Yeah, for a second, but I got back on pretty quick. Try and catch up here. And he says, getting a bit tired here. We'll still be here, but kind of lurking, not trying to ignore anyone. You're fine. We're good. Guys, help me. Not just high energy level at the moment. Harold says, not every student might be of sound mind to own and use a firearm. Well, I mean, you know, that would be something that may need assessment, but it's just part of the deal, right? You know, if they're not in sound mind to do that, they're not in sound mind to operate a motor vehicle or anything else. So we, you know, either we figure it out or we don't. You know, it's just one of those dangers in life that is just not going to go away. So, but I mean, we just gotta be vigilant and watch for the signs and deal with it appropriately. Mr. Lee says, I have swords, hammer, knives, and harpoon, Lockbeard, no lie. Yeah, you could fuck someone up, Mr. Lee. Meredith says, oh, my hands are going to fall off from texting on this phone. Troy says, I got my ass whooped a couple times at school, first day of kindergarten. I got it all the time in school. Seems like in second grade I was getting it weekly. Can understand. Hugs and prayers. It's getting late. Brenda says, thanks, Sharon. This is part 2. The video will be upcoming tomorrow night. So everybody check out Brenda's channel for that. Harold says, in school we got our S's busted or something by a principal back in the 70s and 80s when we acted a fool and disrupted the classroom or got into fights on school grounds. Tim Boy says, I wonder why police stations don't get shot up more often. Exactly. It's full of armed people. That again, I would have one of the chamber at all times. Yeah. Think you got everybody. That's right. Joe Lock and Low says Rex. Seeing this part. Yeah. Cool. Coming to America next. Be ready, dude. Am I actually getting caught up here? Mr. Lee calling you out. Harold says, most people leave me alone as I stand at 6'1" and weigh 340 pounds. Yeah, I bet they do. Sounds like a cowboy. Jen says, this question, cowboy, it's a threat for sure. Look out for that Mr. Lee. Moog says, you're a big boy, Harold. So there's several minutes this Daily Show thing having to do with Switzerland. So, you know, this is it's kind of a comedic sketch, but it's talking about some, you know, covering some real shit. So make sure that's coming up. Is it coming up? Nope. I figured. I got booted off, so now it doesn't want to. Let's try it now. Son of a bitch. This thing. Just having so many problems with this shit. Scotch Cowboy says, you didn't watch my Outlaw Squash and Cowboy video, Mr. Lee. Uncle Bone says, bring it on, Mr. Lee. Something will believe you. Mr. Lee says, come to America. We all meeting up, have a party. Harold says, I bet I got everyone beat. In the 6th grade, Mr. Horn busted my ass for shooting spit wads out of a straw. When I cussed at my teacher, my mom took me in front of her class and busted my ass again. Yeah. That's kind of the way, you know, it's short. You know, if you really did wrong, and you probably got it again when you got home. Why don't you believe me? You don't lie. I don't know why you don't believe me, Mr. Lee. So let's check this out.
Turns out peaceful Switzerland is one of the most heavily armed nations in the world. And like America, they love their guns. Yet they have almost zero gun violence. How the f*** is that possible? Luckily, I ran into an expert.
Is that a gun in your pocket, or you just... Oh, no, that's a gun.
Meet Miko. For 20-plus years, he's been a firearms instructor for law enforcement personnel, military, and special forces. He also happens to be one hunk of a man.
So, Thor, tell me about Swiss gun culture.
We respect the guns because we have a mandatory service. Every man goes to the army, they get a training and a rifle in case of invasion.
Which, to be fair, is a real threat, since the last time Switzerland was invaded was in 1798, before color was invented. So of course they have a militia.
The culture is a little bit different compared to some other country.
You're familiar that I'm American, right? Yeah. You can just say these things to my face. You don't have to say other countries.
I think the gun culture in America is getting out of hand. This is a joke. There should be common sense gun laws.
Common sense. That's not our strength.
Yeah,
well, I can say that. I don't like it when you say that.
Okay. But what we do have is that good old American gun freedom.
You know how easy it is to get a gun in the U.S.? I just go to Walmart, give him the money, gun.
I don't know.
My Uncle Paul, out of his truck, he's got a bunch of guns. My brother Todd has a gun. You want to use it? Boom, borrow it for the weekend. That's nice.
Not really. In Switzerland, you can get a gun from your grandparents or from your father, but you still have to do the paperwork.
Even if I get a gun from my grandpa, I still got to tell the cops about it?
Yeah.
That's crazy, because in most states in America, you can buy a gun almost immediately without any background check. But not in Switzerland.
You apply the permit for the police. You provide clearance of your criminal record that you don't have any convictions. Wait for 2 weeks.
What if it's a small crime? What if you got caught urinating in public? You got caught for sleeping with your cousin because you didn't know it was a cousin because it was at your family reunion and she looked like she worked at catering? What if it's like assaulting a police officer, but really you were just tickling them?
If you can't be responsible of following some other simple rules in society to behave, why should you have a gun?
You don't need to raise your voice over this.
Was there even a payoff to all these rules?
How many school shootings have there been?
No.
What about malls? Every million people shoot?
No.
What about like major holidays? People get shot up at major holidays here?
Nothing.
Come on, with all those guns, they had to have at least one mass shooting somewhere. After weeks of research, I discovered there was, in fact, one mass shooting in the Swiss Parliament in 2001. But they haven't had one since? Incroyable.
You had a mass shooting 17 years ago. We have one every 17 minutes.
Il y a eu des changements. Par exemple, les munitions sont plus emportées avec les armes.
This is something that I'm having a hard time comprehending. You learn from a mistake, and you made an improvement in the law. That's so Europe.
And while Switzerland's last mass shooting was in 2001, America has had more. There you go. Over 1,900 mass shootings since 2012, averaging to about one a day. Which is why Miko felt I needed to be properly trained before I headed back to the States.
We have to talk about safety first.
Kind of like with this one.
Yeah, just leave it alone.
Don't touch it. How are we going to shoot it if I can't touch it?
Let me explain you the rules first. So, number one thing that you have to remember is that you always treat guns as if they're loaded. Because probably most of the accidents that happens with empty guns.
All right, so this one here,
don't touch it. Don't touch it.
I think you don't pay enough attention to what I'm saying. Okay? I'm listening.
So you just have to follow 4 simple rules. Number one, you treat the guns as you're not paying attention.
What? No, I am. Let's do it. Let's blow some shit up. Miko, when you load these things, you ever get a little bit of a direction?
Do exactly what I say, okay?
Okay.
All right, pay attention. Okay, and slowly press back until the gun goes off.
Jesus! This scares the shit out of me. I'm glad we had that safety instruction.
This is the dream. Shooting guns without the fear of getting shot. This is where America should be. All we need to do is keep ammo separate and have universal criminal and mental background checks. Have extremely strict open carry laws, justification for ownership, send written requests to authorities, and basically just change our entire gun culture. We can do that, right?
It's not really that fun when you keep shitting yourself.
You get used to it.
Well, as you can tell, that was a little bit tainted with some agenda. The problem is with the safeguards in place, okay, fine, but then they want to tell you there's certain guns you can't own, and that's a problem. You should be able to own any goddamn gun you want, as long as you aren't crazy or a criminal. But these gun control people, they try to act like they just want, they keep saying common sense gun reform. That's not what they really want. If you pay attention, they're trying to get rid of all guns, period. Oh shit, yeah, Mom tore up my ass third time that night. Got home. It's not Grand Theft Auto, it's skilled training with a firearm to start with parents. Yeah. Mr. Lee says, I'm just shy, man. Anxiety keeps me from doing most things, Uncle Bones. Yeah, fuck that anxiety, Mr. Lee. Speaking of which, I gotta go. Well, probably tomorrow. I don't know if it's gonna be tomorrow. It may be the next day. Depends on the weather and stuff. But anyway, and talk to this guy, and it's about this bee tree thing, and it's already distressing that it has to be a trap out. I don't like that. It's bullshit. But if I don't do that, they're going to kill it, and they shouldn't do that. It should be illegal to poison beehives. It absolutely should be illegal to poison beehives. There's reasons for that. Most people probably haven't thought of, but it ends up where the poison gets transported by bees to nearby bee yards and kills hives, which means you just kill people's livestock. And there's a proper way to remove beehives, and a lot of people, they want to cheap out and not do the right thing. And in this case, this tree is owned by the city, so the city, I mean, they're not paying me to come out there. They should pay me to come out there. But they're basically it's like it's this hostage situation where we're going to kill the bees. You can trap them out and take them or not. Well, it's not that fucking simple, assholes. Anyway, called you a liar. Meredith says, Mr. Lee, are you really coming to America, or are you pulling at Eddie Murphy on this? What? Pulling an Eddie Murphy? Except pulling barons on people, Mr. Lee. He's coming, he says. Spell check. Harpoons. We have some laws here in Canada as we have the same laws in Canada as Switzerland then. I have a problem with some of those laws though. I don't like the government knowing what we have. They have no right to know what we own. They just don't. People can try to say, well, blah, 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 safety. No, fuck that. The government has no right to know what I own. It's not their business. Have I committed a crime? No? Then fuck off. Mr. Lee says, Team Boy, you knucklehead. I don't think I read this one. Going to feed Mr. Lee so much brisket, he won't be able to walk. Tomorrow, I love him, really. Bringing your woman too. Feed me some meat. Mr. Lee wants Cowboy to feed him his meat. Damn, where am I at in this? Mr. Lee likes cake. No, he don't like no cake. I don't think. He shouldn't be eating cake. Mr. Lee called you knucklehead. Finally. Cheesecake. Yeah, cheesecake's pretty awesome. It's loaded with so much sugar. You know what I mean? Could be my son if I had him at 15 years old. Oops. What's oops? WTF. Says chicken legs. Anyone? Welcome. Got you, good woman. Hang on to her. What was bullshit? Uncle Bone says, Squatch Cowboy, please tell me he is on his way. No, I'm here. Did I disappear again or something? Because as far as I can tell, I'm still here. Show us at the other channel again. So am I gone? Because seems like you guys, it says I'm still going, but let me check. Like you guys, it says I'm still. Yeah, I should be fine. All right. Well, you guys were making me think I was gone for a second there, but it says I'm still live, so I don't know what went wrong. Sanders says good night. I'm going to go now anyway. Everybody have a good night. It's good to see everybody again. Miss Lee says, what happened? All Tom Cruise's fault. I don't know what happened. Did the video I was showing go blank or something? Was that what happened? Well, nobody apparently. I think I'm still on. Yeah. I didn't even know I'd gone off there for a second, I guess. Yeah, I didn't have any idea, Mogs. Oh, hell. Well, it had to do with Mr. Lee talking about anxiety. I don't know. I have no idea what happened. Don't tell him. What the hell, Mr. Lee? Hey, boy says, I was just going to tell everyone I had a very well done steak today with spinach and not tell Lockbeard. Why wouldn't you tell me? Wait till he realizes he was off. Yeah, I didn't know it was off, so I don't know what's up. Troy says they violated your video, went blank. I must have showed too much of that deal there. Anyway, it's not very valuable. Like it's a lot of it's just being comedy and stuff. Meredith, she's the best thing I ever had in my life. Just saying, says Mr. Lee. Click back on. I guess I got knocked off again for a second. And maybe it was just my internet. I don't know. But you all said it showed a violation or something? Prayers for Texas, says Meredith. They should hire Vietnam vets to put them in every school, at every doorway entrance. I'm just glad they caught the guy. They shot him. They killed him. Troy says, I meant they shut you down for a minute. Yeah. Still here? You hear me? Came back. Jen says they shut you down for policy violation. Yeah, figures. At least they didn't completely shut the stream down entirely. Troy says you are good now. 3PO probably pulled some strings to get you back. I think they just censored the part with that video clip I was showing. It was too long. There's at some point it's too long. I don't know exactly where that's at. That mom says, I'm confused. I hear you, Lock, and see your video. I don't know what's wrong. Wait. Sharon says, Lockbird, you were gone for a minute. You're back now. Yeah. Mr. Lee says, couple, I'm sending you some good Zep vibes. You will feel the good vibes later, telling you. It wasn't my internet, so they violated the video, the video clip I was showing then. Ships on just shooter. Says hello to Uncle Bones. Mr. Lee says, Cowboy, now my ribs are hurting. So what else I got here? I wanted to show this Ben Shapiro stuff. I have a feeling it might violate me again on this. But yeah, because every time some kids get shot in a school shooting, the left tries to use this to justify more gun legislation. And so, it's kind of that's what he's going to be talking about here. And that they use those deaths to support their legislation. And I'm saying, no, you guys caused those deaths with your rules. You caused those deaths, but let's check out some Ben Shapiro taking
Americans. So why am I off the rails, Mr. Shapiro?
Honestly, Pierce, you've kind of been a bully on this issue because what you do, and I've seen it repeatedly on your show, I watch your show, and I've seen it repeatedly, what you tend to do is you tend to demonize people who differ from you politically by standing on the graves of the children of Sandy Hook, saying they don't seem to care enough about the dead kids. If they cared more about the dead kids, they would agree with you on policy. I think we can have a rational political conversation about balancing rights and risks and rewards of all of these different policies, but I don't think that what we need to do is demonize people on the other side as being unfeeling about what happened in Sandy Hook.
How dare you accuse me of standing on the graves of the children that died there? How dare you?
I've seen you do it repeatedly, Pierce.
Like I say, how dare you?
I mean, you can keep saying that, but you've done it repeatedly. What you do, and I've seen you do it on the program, is you keep saying to folks that if they disagree with you politically, then somehow this is a violation of what happened in Sandy Hook. And I really like to hear your policy prescriptions for what we should do about guns. Because you say that you respect the Second Amendment, and I brought this here for you so that you can read it. It's the Constitution. And I would really like for you to explain to me what you would do about guns that would have prevented what happened in Sandy Hook. If you want to do what you did in the UK, right, which is ban virtually all guns, that is at least a fair argument. And we can have a discussion about whether that's something that we ought to do or not.
I've made it very clear what I want to do, which is exactly what Mark Kelly wants to do. And in fact, rather than address
let's talk about that.
Rather than address your comments to me about standing on the graves of children at Sandy Hook, you can address them to Mark Kelly, because he agrees with everything that I've been saying, because he feels the same way, as does his wife. They're gun owners. They both respect the Second Amendment of the Constitution. They don't want to take away anybody's right to defend themselves with guns.
Well, they want to take away certain types of guns, obviously.
They want to take away assault weapons, which are capable with magazines like we saw at Aurora and Sandy Hook of unleashing a ridiculous amount of.
Well, this is a question I wanted to ask you, Pierce, because I've seen you talk about assault weapons a lot, and I've seen Mark Kelly talk about assault weapons. The vast majority of murders in this country that are committed with guns are not committed with assault weapons; they're committed with handguns.
Okay,
so, are you willing to ban handguns in this country across the country?
No, that's not what I'm asking for.
Why not?
Let me ask you.
Don't you care about the kids who are being killed in Chicago as much as the kids in Sandy Hook?
Yes, I do.
Then why don't you care about banning the handguns in Chicago?
No, we'll come to that. Let me ask you this. What was the weapon used at Aurora in the movie theater?
It was an assault rifle, sure.
Okay. What was the weapon used in the Oregon shopping mall?
I believe it was an assault rifle, correct?
Okay. What was the weapon used at Sandy Hook?
It was an assault rifle.
What was the weapon used at the incident around Christmas when the firemen were lured to their deaths, the New York State firemen?
And bought illegally. That was an assault rifle.
Right, so the last 4 mass shootings in America were all the assault rifles.
And the vast
that is the reason, Mr. Shapiro. And you can smirk at me, and you can laugh at me.
I'm not smirking.
And you can accuse me of standing on the graves of dead children.
And being a bully, yes.
But that is the reason that people like me and Mark Kelly and Gabrielle Giffords want to have assault weapons like that removed from civilian hands.
Your passion on the issue doesn't really justify the rationale for why you want to ban assault weapons, but not handguns.
You don't understand why we want to remove the preferred weapon of choice, these killing machines,
well, I would like
from the hands of deranged young men.
All I'm asking is for you to be philosophically consistent. If what you're worried about is the removal of killing machines from the hands of deranged young people, then maybe we should talk about a blanket gun ban. And let's get to what the left really wants here. And you say that you're for the Second Amendment.
Why is it about left or right? Because in Britain, this never is about left or right, this issue. Why is it here?
Well, we can talk about Britain in a second. I think the reason that it's about left and right here is because fundamentally, the right believes that the basis for the Second Amendment, and they believe in the Second Amendment, the basis for the Second Amendment is not really about self-defense, and it's not about hunting. It is about resistance to government tyranny. That's what the founders said, and that's what the right believes in this country.
Which tyranny are you fearing yourself?
I fear the possibility of a tyranny rising in this country in the next 50 to 100 years. Let me tell you something, Pierce. The fact that my grandparents and great-grandparents in Europe didn't fear that is why they are now ashes in Europe. So this kind of leftist revisionist history, where there's never any fear of democracy going usurpacious or tyrannical, is just that.
Just to clarify your position then, the answer to Sandy Hook, as it was to Aurora, as it was to Gabrielle Giffords, as it was to Columbine, Virginia Tech, is you do nothing. Is that your position?
That's not my position.
What is your position?
My position is that we have to calibrate laws that are designed to get guns out of the hands of bad people and keep guns in the hands of the people who want to buy them. This idea of more guns versus less guns.
How do you do that?
Well, I think one of the ways that you do that is by better screening for mental illness. I think that you do better background checks.
Was Adam Lanza's mother a good person?
Piers is trying here, but he is failing. And yeah, the answer is more guns, not less. More guns in the right places. More guns at the schools, in the hands of good people that are there to defend the kids, instead of leaving the children sitting ducks. They removed the lock they had on it. That mom says, that's good to hear, Mr. Mogs. That mom says, a gun is a gun. That is an excuse to cloud the real issue. Why the heck does the non-civilians find and give weapons to mentally unstable people? Icon says, good afternoon, everyone. Getting pissed on bourbon. Awesome, man. It was locked as private. Yeah. I don't know if you're linked up to some other accounts or not, Mogs, but like all my videos, well, for one, like I always download a copy off of StreamYard into my cloud drive, but it's just in case, like because the video is always there. Even if YouTube bans it, the video is always on StreamYard. But if it does make it to YouTube and there's enough time for it to sync up, the videos jump over or all copied over automatically to Odyssey, BitChute, and Rumble. So YouTube can ban the videos all day long. They will end up over there anyway. And if they don't get synced up, sooner or later I'll end up saving a copy manually because I always have a copy. So I don't know. That's just been a pretty good deal for me to make sure that they're never going to make my videos disappear. Batmom says, arm the school. Yeah, absolutely. Arm them to the teeth. The shooter gets there, he might get one shot off, but this is the difference between one dead child and 18 dead children. And he said he wasn't 100% sure what the issue was. Something was said in the video they didn't like. I don't know. I don't know for sure what it was. So yeah, some kind of policy violation, but what? Guess they changed their mind. Well, Mr. Lee, it has been suggested that there were multiple people reporting the video. They're reporting the live stream. And that somehow kicked YouTube's gears into shutting it down. I don't know for sure about all that, but you know, it sounds like it may have been a similar situation almost to what happened, what was being discussed by Mid-South on that live stream, what happened to his channel. That the same guys, Dark Waters and Vault of Nightmares and all those criminal douchebags that are causing all kinds of shit and threatening people, them guys may have had something to do with that. But Mom says there are so many people who will save their life by carrying a weapon and turn the person who's trying to harm them. Good Lord. We have had guns for a big amount of our history. Yeah. Yeah. Guns give us our freedom. It gives us our safety. Only a profound moron would think that totally disarming a school makes it safer. That's absolutely ridiculous. Now, a criminal can just march in there and just kill everybody, and there's very little that they can do to resist them. It's just insane. I don't know how people can come to that kind of retarded reasoning. The Batmom says no one is asking why that last 20 or 30 years there have been such a huge shift in mass killings. I mean, there's a lot of things. I think one, there are agents of the government that are purposely causing this. I know they have the technology to manipulate people's minds by hitting with certain frequencies that are included in 5G. That's why 5G is dangerous. It can be weaponized. It should not be deployed, period. Fuck off with this 5G bullshit. Those are the very frequencies, some of them that are involved with the government research into affecting people's minds. They can hit you with this and cause all kinds of shit. They can cause you to go totally catatonic. They can cause you to go into a rage. They can cause you to all kinds of mental states. And who knows how far they've come in these decades with this technology. They could possibly put specific thoughts, go shoot up school. They could possibly put that in your mind at this point, for all I know. But they don't really need to. They find someone who has expressed certain reactions to school shootings in the past, because you can look for the signs and the postings and how they react to it. He said this person is actually has a sick fascination with these school shootings and is impressed by these situations. This person is someone we need to watch, and when we need one to happen, we hit this guy with the right frequencies. Boom, he will go do it. But there's other things that are in play here. I think there's too many people. When you have too many of anything, you're going to have issues because they're going to want to kill each other. So that's adding to the mental illness, along with all the other things. The technologies we're using, the chemicals in our food are causing people to be more mentally unstable. There is so much at play. There's no way we could cover it all. Jay says, Muggs, I just watched your Thursday show from last week. Timmy Boy says, and welcome, Jay. I didn't know you were here. Timmy Boy says, how are you going to screen a sociopath when they are masters at making you believe what they want you to? We don't have enough docs to even attempt that. Yeah, and it's probably something that our society is. We try to improve our ability to deal with that? Yes. Are we going to succeed? I think absolutely not. The only thing, because again, mental illness is going to keep increasing at an increasing rate because of the circumstances that we're in. We are in a completely unnatural state, and this will just snowball and snowball until it's going to be nuts out there. It's going to be nuts out there. There is no positive to the future that I foresee in this. We're fucked. We're fucked. I mean, we need an asteroid. We need something that thins us out drastically, shuts down the entire agricultural system, because people need to live off of what they find running around in their own land. They need to eat only meat, only prey. Stop eating all these foods that were not natural for us. Things like broccoli didn't even exist until we selectively bred it out of wild brassicas, which tastes like absolute shit. Man did not eat that shit before unless he was starving. Rice, that was something that everybody didn't have. You have to grow rice and wheat and stuff like that in an agricultural scenario which didn't exist in the wild before agriculture was invented. A moron invented agriculture, thought he was smart, thought he was helping out mankind, but what he did was fuck us up for 10,000 years. So we need that system to collapse for our own good. It's going to suck. People are going to die, but people are dying now. We're dying from these issues, all these illnesses that just keep hitting us. Not just mental, but everything else. The cancers, the diabetes, the heart disease, autoimmune issues. All these things are caused by the goddamn food we're eating, and people still aren't catching on. A lot of people aren't anyway. Some people are. We're some of us are, but you can't eat the shit that's not natural for you. You would not have been able to gather enough tiny little wheat grains to do anything with, or to even want to fuck with it in a natural condition. That wheat grain now, it's been like it's changed. We've changed the genetics. Like when a doubling of the chromosomes happened, like they found they made bigger kernels and all this stuff, and they've selectively bred it to where it stays on the stalk, so that it can be harvested. And then, of course, now that then once people invented monocrop agriculture, where you kill everything in that ecosystem and then plant the one plant that you want, which is completely unnatural in itself. Only then were we able to gather enough grain to do fuck all with. And then now, like of course, they've kind of been moving away from the food pyramid, it seems, but they taught us this food pyramid thing, and the basis of it was grain, as if humans are grainivores, like we're just supposed to eat primarily grain. No, we're not. We're supposed to eat primarily fatty red meat and some fish. Very, very little of anything else, to the extent that we are obligate hyper carnivores. Like, we are designed to be more carnivorous than a goddamn bear, and maybe not a polar bear, but other bears, because they eat a lot of plant matter in their diet. But they're still hyper carnivores. But we are more so. Our physiology even holds this up. If you dive deep enough into that and see what's going on there. People try to say, well, you need some glucose. Well, no, you need absolutely zero carbohydrate in your diet because your body has a system for producing exactly the amount of glucose you need. It's a process called gluconeogenesis. Look it up. Try to catch up in chat here. Got on a little bit of a tangent there, I know. But Mr. Lee understands my pain. Preach, Lockbeard says about him. Icon says YouTube puts up a policy violation thingy when you broadcast something with a copyright. I had to happen playing Christmas tunes on one of Ruthie's streams. You got a Ruthie stream? Just puts a bad taste in my mouth. Icon. Mr. Lee says, oh shit, I got 2 minutes to brush my teeth, then get on my bike and ride. See ya, peeps. All right, man. See ya. Look for people to do this. Yeah, maybe I sure hope I'm not being I'm not sounding too much like a conspiracy nut, but these are some evil fucks that run the show. Tim Boy says it's nuts out here now. Yeah, it's nuts now. Just wait, though. It's going to get worse. There are too many people, and we're living under circumstances that are too fucking unnatural. So this is all tearing down our psyche. And people are just going to go more and more nuts. Like, we need thinned out. We do. I mean, how that looks and how painful it is. Do we do it by choice? Do we say, hey, let's stop having kids? What do we do? Well, all the European countries and America, the majority populations in these countries have just done it naturally. They have less kids than are needed to reproduce themselves. Therefore, their populations are going to be shrinking more and more with every passing year. The only thing keeping a lot of these countries growing at all is immigration. So it's those other countries that we need to worry about as far as overpopulation. It's not the European countries, and it's not the United States. It's the countries where all the immigrants are coming from. They're producing too many people, and they're not showing enough signs of their reproductive rate slowing down naturally like European countries and like the United States and Australia. And I know there's a common thread there. I don't know how much of a fucking violation I could get for saying too much on that matter. You managed to watch 2.5 hour show in an hour and a half. Probably watched it on 2x speed, man. Played it on fast forward. Clicked on through my old ass. Icon says grain is what you use to fatten animals before slaughter, and people wonder why many are so pudgy, barring those with medical conditions that cause the weight gain. Of course, yeah, that's that's just the minimum of them. They're all gonna say I got a condition. Now, most of y'all are just eating shit that you shouldn't eat. When you eat carbohydrates, it causes a hormonal response that puts you basically in a fat storage mode. If you don't eat carbohydrates, that hormonal response does not occur. It becomes extremely hard to put on fat weight when you don't eat carbohydrates. Go on a proper zero carb diet, and every single person without fail will see the same result. You will drop weight very quickly. You will also notice that eventually your hunger levels will go down, because another thing that is caused by carbohydrates is again more hormonal responses that cause you to get more hungry. And it has to do with something else going on, is that you're eating anti-nutrients and you're not eating enough of the food that you really need, which is fatty red meat. So you're not getting proper nutrition. So now your body's screaming for proper nutrition. And so it wants you to eat more, but it's having a hard time telling you, say, look, there's a certain fucking thing you need to eat. Stop eating the potato chips. Stop eating the shit with bread. Don't eat the goddamn rice, because even if you eat the proper thing, these things have anti-nutrients in it that prevents you from absorbing the proper nutrition from the right foods. Fuck. And do we need to talk about stones made from crystals that come out of oxalates that are in a lot of these plants, especially spinach? That's why spinach has that gritty texture to it. When you eat it, you notice the grit. That's oxalate crystals. You like piston stones? Eat plenty of spinach. You'll get there. Not everybody, but a lot of people will, because some people are more susceptible than others. Batmom says, Mr. Lee, make sure you brush while singing the full ABC song, not a minute sooner. Icon says, peace out, Mr. Lee. Mr. Lee's abandoning us. Team Boy says, Jordan Peterson is strictly red meat and swears by it, I guess. I need to check it out since Lockbeard's been preaching it so long. Yeah, if you saw, you may have seen Jordan Peterson talking about that on Joe Rogan's podcast, because he was having all these problems. He had a depression issue. He had a lot of weight on him, and some autoimmune issue, I think. But debilitating depression, I think, is one of the ones issues he had. All this shit went away because he went down to meat and greens. But his daughter, who had some really bad health issues as well, had figured out that the greens had to be eliminated too. You think spinach is healthy for you because you've been told that your entire life. Spinach is not healthy for you. You should not eat that shit. It's poison to humans. You just survive it. And they say, well, it's got this much vitamin A and this, but yeah, but can you absorb it? And is it full of poisons that make the benefits of the vitamin A so little that it's inconsequential compared to what the poison in the food is doing to you? It's really hard to convince people of this. They don't want to fucking listen, and they're not going to do the research themselves. You know, they're never going to go over the PubMed and look at studies. They don't know enough about human physiology to be able to refute. Like when you hear vegans talk their shit, well, vegans can be very persuasive. They're good salesmen, but their science is extremely flawed, and they're full of shit. And I don't know why people can't look at the typical vegan and see how pathetically skeletonized they are, and look at them like they're all the time. They're just extremely tired. They're constantly shoving food down their mouth, constantly, because they can't eat enough. They can't eat enough. Whereas when I'm eating strictly meat diet, like it would be very, very hard for me to overeat, because I can't shovel. The hunger's gone. Like I want to stop. Like it's really crazy. Like I remember what it's like to eat like potato chips and all that shit, and it's like, it's just like the commercial says, you can't eat just one. Yeah, you can't eat just one, and you can't just not eat the whole fucking bag. It's like the hunger is still there. You're getting stuffed, and you're bloated, and but it just never stops, because you're constantly giving your body a signal. You're hungry, and you're not hungry. You're depleted in certain nutrients, but you're not actually hungry. Yep, all that. Icon says, no wonder Popeye was so aggravated. He had to piss out a boulder. Shit, them forearms didn't look right either. Did you see the Family Guy? I think it was Family Guy, where the doctor was talking to Popeye, and he's like, I can't believe you never thought that there was something wrong with your forearms. And he had like cancer in his forearms. Mr. Hughes says, stay safe, Mr. Lee. I ate everything and don't lose. Says Jay. Gain, rather. Hello, Jen. You look lovely, girl. Says Mr. Hugh. Jay says, I've been the same size since high school. Your body must have just, because a lot of people, like, your body has a memory aspect to it. So a lot of times it wants to try and kind of form a stasis, like this is what we're used to being, this is what we're going to be. So it makes it hard. Like if you wanted to trim down, it would be hard to break your body. It's almost like your body's in a habit of being the size that you are. So it's hard to break it. But once you break it and you hold, at certain level, it gets easier over time to stay there. But if you can break your carbohydrate addiction, it's smooth sailing. As long as you can break carbohydrate addiction, it's smooth sailing. Hilarious Family Guy, yeah. Some proportions have changed. Less skinny till I met Pat Harrison. I was skinny until I met Pat Harrison. Wonder how that works. Play some videos of punk ass. I'm not gonna play no sound, but punk ass criminals getting bested. Took his fucking gun. But look at this. He comes back. It's like, give me my gun. Anyway. Squash Cowboy said she's a hell of a cook. Jen says, in honor of Mr. Lee, Keto Man, I'm telling you. Yeah, Mr. Lee, he's on to something there. At least get the carbs gone. At least get the carbs gone. If you got blood sugar issues and you get the carbs gone, you're gonna almost entirely eliminate your symptoms in a lot of cases. It depends on how bad your system's damaged, because you got to remember what it is your system has been damaged by years of poisoning with carbs. So easy, Jay, don't push us, says Timmy. Jay says, I don't eat a lot of carbs though. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people, like, they don't hear those terminologies like carbs are poison. So yes, it's like, well, look at the cholesterol thing. They tell you, oh, you got high cholesterol, so you shouldn't eat cholesterol. The problem is eating cholesterol does not affect your serum blood levels of cholesterol the way they try to act like it does. They tell you, oh, if you eat cholesterol, you're going to get high cholesterol. That's complete bullshit. Complete bullshit. And then they say, well, your LDLs are too high. And then you got to ask them, did you do a fractional analysis? And the answer is usually, no, we did not. Well, then how the fuck do you know that I have too high a level of the specific LDLs that are responsible for the associations with disease that you claim, which is still, that's not even set, So when they tell you, oh, your LDL's too high, you probably need to tell your doctor to fuck off and walk out, because your doctor's full of shit. Oh, you need to eat less cholesterol. No, you do not need to eat less cholesterol. If anything, you need to eat more. It's fucking bullshit. It was good. It was good seeing you tonight, Jen. Thanks for coming on tonight, says Mogs. Jay's a player. Not just a gentleman, says Jay. Who's eating carp? Carp? I go. I probably shouldn't comment on that. Jen says, have fun, Mogs. Great show. Tim Boy says, Jimbo, what's up in a minute? Hey, Haywood, what's up, man? Good to see you. Jimbo's here. Welcome. So, what time is it? It's late. It's way past my bedtime. Anybody got anything to add? Michael says, great show, Mogs. Jimbo says, Squatch Cowboy, howdy, sir. Yeah, shut that down. Tim Boy says, I'm out, guys. Y'all be good. Thanks for coming, Tim Boy. Probably going to shut her down any second now. Sup? What do I eat daily? It's been varying greatly of late. Because I go back and forth from being eating right, not eating right. But when I'm eating all meat, like I'm just eating once a day, somewhere between a pound to a pound and a quarter of meat is generally enough. There might be some cheese involved, or some sour cream or cottage cheese. Like if you order a steak and you're trying to figure out what sides to replace everything with, a lot of steak restaurants will go ahead and give you some cottage cheese in exchange as an option for sides. So there's been some restaurants where I go and I'll have a steak and then 2 servings of cottage cheese because there's two sides, And it's still animal fats and protein, right? It's a dairy product. It comes from a cow. But when I'm eating only meat, I'm only eating once a day, and sometimes every other day. Like your hunger levels are so low, you could totally fast for 2 days. And the cool thing about that is you fast for 2 days. They found that your human growth hormone levels spike at about 48 hours. So fast for 2 days, go hit the gym. Those assholes in the gym will tell you, oh, you can't lift weights when you haven't been eating for 2 days. Be careful about it, but you can do it. I've done it many times. It's fucking bullshit. You can do it. And then your human growth hormone levels are really high. So you give your muscles a stimulus, and then you go eat some steak. So now you got some proteins and some fats and the workout stimulus and spiked HGH levels, and you're going to put on some goddamn muscle. And you didn't eat for 2 days. And they tell you, oh no, you got to eat 5 times a day. You got to shove protein shakes down your throat every few hours and just no, yeah, you can put on some muscle that way, but you're also going to break your fucking organs. Your organs aren't meant to handle all that shit. Your digestive tract isn't meant to like run 24/7 either. It's supposed to have a break every so often. That's why one of the reasons why fasting is good for you. 10 likes, 21 watching. Come on, friends. Lockbeard, same love. Yeah, thank you, Meredith. Thank you. Damn, chat's taking off on me. Good night, Mogs. Squash Cowboy says, last time I ate carbs, the throttle body got stuck in my throat. Icon says, it's past your bedtime. What are you, old? Pretty soon you're going to complain the music is too loud. The music is too loud. That's why I turned it off on that last video. Well, and also because I don't want to deal with their copyright shit. They probably, that fucking music, the video had music to it. So. Keep it down, Icon, says Mokes. Get off my lawn, too. Get off my fucking lawn. No, Michael, we're about to wrap her up. It's, you know, I just had to rant some on this, like, because I got on like Facebook and like somebody, there was a post about the shooting, and the lefties were like posting laughing emojis on some of the commentaries from the righties, and I'm like, what the fuck? This is not a laughing matter, motherfuckers. You know, you can refute their point, but like show some goddamn respect. Fuck. Used to it by now. It wasn't you, Michael. It was just, it's late, and I already told everybody I was about to wrap her up and all that good shit. So
be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because subscribing makes you feel good.
Yeah, hopefully subscribing makes you feel good.
Damn good shit. Yeah.
And since somebody asked me if I'm old,
Fuck, you're old.
I deserve it. I deserve it after calling Old Bear old. We need that one more time for Old Bear, though. Old Bear.
Fuck, you're old.
I wish to return to our old ways.
Michael, did you show Jay that video? You love it. You need to. Like I says, let these laugh because they have the false concept that this is the shooting that will get the guns taken away. Yeah. Yeah. And what happens every time? What happens every time? They start to try and push through some new legislation, and a bunch of people get alarmed by this, and they go and they buy more weapons. Do these people, I mean, does anyone really think that the government doesn't notice this trend? It happens every fucking time. You try to take guns, you try to impose some kind of new gun restriction, and people go and buy more guns. It's you almost wonder, maybe the gun manufacturers are behind the anti-gun push, because they know every time they do it, it gets them some more sales. It's almost, it's almost like it may be that diabolical. Sad that for families. Too old for this shit. Danny Glover, Lethal Weapon, also me. Yeah. Danny says they notice all the way to the bank. Yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks for coming. Probably see a lot of you on Saturday.